F1 Academy moves away from the Netherlands and goes into its only Asia race of the year. Welcome to Singapore for round 5, race 1 here. It's 3 p.m. over in Singapore, and it's time to see what we could get in the opening race of the weekend. Hello everybody, welcome to the commentary box as well. Josh Birch filling in for Jess Ball. Alongside me, as usual, is Megan Birch. We're in the daytime here of a dry Singapore, but on a very green track. Overnight rain has washed away all of the rubber, so it's going to be greasy, it's going to be tricky, and that's just how we like to see it. It's 8 a.m. here, as we see Susie Wolf talking with James Vowles. 8 a.m. in the UK, and 3 p.m. in the afternoon over there in Singapore. Half the world away, Megan, but we're both very tired.
Yes, we are.
How you doing? Looking forward to this one?
I just want to go back to bed. But why can't it be later in the day? But I think it will be very interesting, and I really hope that there's no crashing about, which is weird for me to say, but I am tired and I can't do all that.
Pole position for Abby Pulling with Maya Vuk alongside. Dorian Pan is third with Leah Block fourth. Amanda Alcabassi from Chloe Chambers, Naria Marty and Ella Lloyd are wildcard in 8th. Bianca Bustamante 9th, Carrie Schreiner in 10th. Tina Houseman's 11th, Lola Fossi in 12th. Jess Edgar's 13th, Emily House is 14th. Aurelia Noble's 15th and Amanda Alcabassi starts 16th on the grid. Eyes to the lights then as the parade light gets underway for this one. And Abby Pulling pulls away as we get set for the first race of the day. Always weird when we see this in the daytime. Have you seen much of the daytime action? I know you were in FP1 yesterday, but what do you think? It does look completely different, doesn't it?
It does.
Let's check in with what the drivers thought then after qualifying on the commentary. Alongside, we have Laura Winter and Alex Brundle. Let's check in with them.
Up to 72, so oppressive, brutal conditions, no doubt the toughest test yet for F1 Academy. Okay, let's hear then from our top 3 drivers on the grid: Dorian Pan, Maya Vuk and Abby Pulling.
The track is amazing. We didn't have any issues with red flags, not so many yellow flags either, so we could get all our program in, which was really important for us. No big mistakes from our side. There were some mistakes, obviously, but that's what happens when you're pushing.
So it's not going to be a too easy race, but I think we have the pace to fight for something good, and we're going to try to have and take the opportunities maybe in the first lap or at the start to overtake and gain more points for the championship.
Most times when I've led into lap 1, into turn 1, I've, kind of led the whole race. So that's the aim again, is to get it off the line. That's the big thing, and then just control the race from there.
Abby Pulling had a cracking start in race 1 in Zandvoort, and she led and won that race. In race number 2, though, her start not as good, and it was P3 in the end ultimately for that race. How important is the start here, Alex?
Incredibly important, obviously, and it's a really tricky first complex of corners to the left, and then a slow right-hander. You've got to set yourself up for the exit so you're not under pressure down through turn 4 and turn 5. And across the grid from her, she's got Maya Vuk, a veteran of both Italian and German F4, who looks to be having a really strong weekend so far. 4 times a podium finisher this year. Vuk will be aiming for the win here. Abby Pulling, however, in a series scenario, in a point scenario here, where she just needs to continue scoring strongly. And you do wonder if Pulling at this point of the year will be thinking about risk, heading down towards those first few corners and keeping the car out of trouble. Of course, she wants to win the race. Of course, she wants to take the biggest trophy home tonight and have another go at it tomorrow from pole position again. But there is a series to think about, and Abby Pulling will definitely be thinking about it as she rounds the last 2 corners, building brake and tyre temperature, and takes them towards the starting grid.
Tension rising, 16 drivers in the grid. Track temperature is at 40.4 degrees. Air temperature 30.3. Looking out there as well, Wind speed 1.5 meters per second. 72% humidity. Track's dry. And I suppose that humidity exhaust is going to build up, so it's hot for the drivers in the car.
Well, at least they're nice and warm. I mean, it's nice compared to what we have right now.
Yeah,
Cold.
I'm still coming down from... I've just literally got out of the bath 10 minutes ago. Rushed into the commentary box. Let's see what we get then. Ahead of this one, tension is going to be like a rocket ship. Amanda Alcabasi lines up at the back. Green flag will fly. 5 red lights will come on. Race 5 of 7 then. The opening race of F1 Academy here. And start aborted.
Why?
Because Bianca Bustamante is in the wrong grid slot. Bianca Bustamante was not in her grid slot. She was massive away forward. Now, I'm sorry, but how do you completely miss a grid box, Bianca?
I do not know.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Why did you do this?
She was stopped short and too far. She was right in the middle of the 2 grid boxes. Oh, I don't get it with her anymore. I really don't, to be fair. So 1 lap off the duration and an extra formation lap just to make our lives a little bit harder.
Yeah.
It's always the way. Let's flash up to the commentary box then. Back to Alex and Laura.
Getting her arms up in the air and knowing the signal. So Bianca Bustamante, the McLaren Junior, will head round again.
Yeah, excellent work there from all involved. Aborted start, then an extra formation lap here in F1 Academy. We'll take a look now at what may have happened here. Bianca Bustamante, you can see she's gone beyond her grid box, Alex.
I do wonder, though, if that's as a result of... No, it's just as a result of rolling well beyond it. So she's just rolled straight beyond the grid box. She's found herself out of position. I believe Bianca Bustamante will have to start from the pit lane now as a result of causing that aborted start. So a bit of a disaster at the beginning of this one for Bustamante, the driver who recognised this as the closest she could possibly get to her home race. Was having a reasonably strong weekend so far. As a result of that, we of course now have an 11-lap race, this extra formation lap counting as one of the laps of the race. Bianca Bustamante was 9th on the grid, will now find herself in the pit lane by the regulations, I believe.
A nightmare start then for Bianca Bustamante, as you say, on what is almost home soil for her as F1 Academy races in Asia for the very first time. We ride on board here with Leah Block, the Williams Driver Academy, and she, P4, her best qualifying performance yet. From the start here, she could really get amongst it, potentially for a podium. But the nerves for these drivers now, having had a start aborted when they were on the brink, poised, ready to go, the adrenaline must be surging through their bodies, Alex.
Well, adrenaline, something that Leah Block is absolutely used to. The youngest American Rally Association champion, 17 years old when she took that title.
She's still 17 as well. She's such a youngster, honestly. She's an incredibly mature and brilliant athlete, Leah Block. And P4, an accomplished performance for her from yesterday. She's got to translate that today, though, to big, big points.
It looks like Bustamante has gone back round again to
That's
the
not
grid.
allowed.
So it'll be interesting if race control have anything to say about that. She's going to park up back on her grid box.
Alex is right, that's not allowed by the stewards. She should be in the pit lane for this one. She's going to line up in the grid box this time around. So that's going to be a penalty for Bianca Bustamante. Meantime, there's a race to get started here. All the lights are going to come on one at a time. They're happy with this one. Activate the start procedure. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Lights out, race on for F1 Academy. It's a good start from Abby Pulling. Pulls across Maya Vuk. Dorian Pan going to try and go around the outside of her. Down towards turn 1. Chambers looks to the inside line. Down on the inside in towards turn 1. Amanda Alcabasi running off the circuit. Going to come back on in side by side with Chloe Chambers. Ella Lloyd making up a good start. Nuria Marti having problems at the back. And that is Aurea Noble's already dropped back. Bianca Bustamante is going to be in a bit of a battle here as well with Nuria Marti. And Ella Lloyd side by side as well with Amanda as they come down the back straight away. And it all looks to be okay for Abby Pulling leading Maya Vogel and Bianca Bustamante side by side. with Nuria Marti and Amanda Alcabas as they come down. Now Marti's trying to look around the outside to turn 7 off Amanda, and a lock-up further ahead from Ella Lloyd in the F1 Academy car. Good start.
It was a good start. One of the cars in white, I think it was either Chambers or Marty. I think Marty's in white. They had a little bit of contact and race control incident involving car 16. Bustamante noted starting procedure infringement.
Kind of expected that, sadly, as well, as they come through the Singapore sling. So Bianca Bustamante will get at least a drive-through penalty. Maybe a post-race time penalty being applied. It's under investigation for the start procedure infringement as they come into turn 13. Swing down now towards 14 and 15. The two left-handers that made back up to the other side of the circuit. And they're all racing through cleanly. Abby Pulling leads Maya Vuk by about a tenth of a second as they come through. They're all still strung out together. It's Amanda Alcabasi down in 16th place at the moment. She's been pushed out. But now we can see Bianca Bustamante under pressure from Carrie Schreiner as well in 10th position as Bustamante is attacking Nuria Marti as they come through 16, 17, 18, 19 the last two corners on the circuit, and that completes the opening lap of the race then. One complete Water Cup. Woohoo! Interesting start so far. 10 to go.
It is an interesting start. Everyone seems to be behaving themselves as much as they can, but that start definitely did have some interesting stuff. I think they're hitting the dust part now.
Someone locked up as well by the looks of it as well, with some dust in the air. Keep an eye on that as they fly back down. 10-second stop-go penalty for Bianca Bustamante for a start procedure infringement. So they've been really, really harsh. They do not take that lightly. The fact that she did not then come back into the pit lane. So Bianca Bustamante doing Bianca Bustamante things. Unfortunately, intelligence lacks her driving skill at the moment. And she should have been told to come into the pit lane. The driver, desperate to be liked, just continues to make herself unlikable.
I just don't understand why she didn't go into the pit lane.
Yeah.
I mean, she would have known.
She would have known. Race director rules results.
She's caused to get a penalty for no reason.
Yeah, well, she's done now for the rest of the race, unfortunately, through the Singapore sling, past past Raffles Hotel, through onto the Anderson Bridge. Over, big lock up on the front right for Chloe Chambers, and that's Amanda Alcabasi's now been noted for leaving the track, getting advantage.
Okay, bien, we get a stop and go penalty for the start. Stop and go penalty for the start, so box this lap.
Thought she might reply to that, but she didn't. Nobles too left the track and gained the advantage. That's why she jumped up to 14th.
I saw that Nobles was a little bit too off the track. I couldn't be quite sure though.
You see, you did spot one of the cars going by.
Yeah. After you spotted the first one, I thought I saw another one.
Makes sense as they fly into it.
And Bianca's immediately gone into the pit lane.
Yeah. So Bianca Bustamante now serves her penalty. That will drop her right to the back. She's going to need a safety car in order to come back into race 1, lap 3 of 11. And then the McLaren driver pulls into the Red Bull pit box and serves her penalty. Don't ask me why they don't pull into the McLaren, it's the way it works out. 10 seconds is an awfully long time. It looks like we're going to see that in full instead of saying see some racing action on the circuit. Where she goes. Yeah. Let's have a look at the start there, Megan, as the lights go out.
Yeah, you can see the two cars in the middle, like in front of Bianca and Schreiner. They get into a little bit of a bad start and almost touch wheels. And right there, you can see Nobles just going right off without. I don't even think there was a need there.
But she did follow the race director's instructions and she didn't gain a position. She lost some, so that might be okay actually by the stewards.
Yeah, she might actually get away with that.
Yeah.
I just don't think she wanted to take that one.
I think she knew that he would have been in an accident, so backed out of it quite quickly, which kind of makes sense, to be fair, as they fly over the bridge down to turn 13. A little bit of a twitch there as well from Ella Lloyd in the as they come over the circuit. That's down into the braking zone for turn 13. On board with Chloe Chambers in the Haas. You can hear how these Formula 4 cars downshift and sort of rev on the limiter to keep the accelerant alive.
It's intriguing to see.
Yeah, it really is. Down 6th. Down. Third gear, switching in. On board with Amanda Akbasi. Yeah, Nobles, as I thought, reviewed and no further investigation.
Yeah, so she's got away with it. But there's been no talk about whether things got away with it.
Maya Vuk had the fastest first sector, 37.7, but he didn't stop Ali pulling, getting the fastest lap overall. It's a, 2-minute 4.786.
Yeah, she's really increasing her speed, it seems.
0.9 of a second, the gap at the moment, and in this track, it's hard to overtake even in normal conditions. And there's no DRS, of course, for F1 Academy.
Exactly, so they're running off even harder things. And my voice is a bit funky because, like, I haven't had a drink yet this morning.
Neither have I.
And it's like, my throat's dry. We need a drink.
If it helps, neither have I.
We both need a drink.
So they fly in to turn 7 and 8. Bit of a lock up again from Maya Vuk. This race now just settling down. It's only lap 4 of 11.
It is. Shriner just had a little wobble there.
Yeah. Twitching around the circuit as we're on board with Amanda Akbasi. Let's have a word with her.
Come on, Amanda, demonstrate that you can do it. Let's go for it, come on.
Encouragement.
Yeah, I was going to say, as Laura says, well, encouragement that you can do it.
Woohoo! I've noticed a lot in the past year. Every team in motorsports have started trying to encourage their drivers more.
Ella Lloyd locked up down to turn 13 again at the hairpin. Just snagged that front right as we look at it. Ella Lloyd closing her down as well. The gap, 1.1 seconds.
That's close.
So the closest spot on the circuit right now is 2. There's Ella Lloyd, who's got Amanda Al-Kabasi and Nuria Marti behind her. And then Lola Loveland Fossey has got Jess Edgar behind her.
Yes. Look, Nobles has the Hughes behind her further down.
Yes, and that's with
But
Amanda Al-Kabasi as well. But it's not big of a battle.
Yeah, but that's for basically last position.
Yeah, no points down there.
Yeah.
Over the bridge. So this is the problem now as well at 5 of 11. Tyres start going down, no DRS, longest track of the year. It's not exactly the best place to throw an F1 Academy race.
No, it isn't.
Which is why I'm finding it weird they've done it.
Maybe they wanted to test how it would be.
I think they wanted to show that W Series was that bad that F1 Academy can do it no problem.
Yeah.
Whereas W Series, it killed it.
I think this will be able to do it, to be honest.
Oh, easily.
It's more ordered.
F1's not going to go bankrupt. Down into the Singapore sling. Ella Lloyd holding back Amanda Akbasi and Nuria Marti. And over the Anderson Bridge. Fans just starting to come in after a long day. They'll be ready though for this evening's action. It's 3 o'clock. It's 3:22 p.m. over there. Insane that the whole day has already passed for them.
It's weird to think about. Their day has passed while we slept.
Yeah. And that is why it's a night race. Down we go. And is that Amanda Akbasi repassing Jess Edgar? Yes, it is. Jess is down to 13th. And Amanda Al-Kabasi, her sister, is right on the back of Ella Lloyd. Speed trap for Amanda Alcabassi down to turn 1. 207 kilometres an hour to 129 miles an hour.
Oh,
Yellow flags are out.
Yellow.
So who's caused this then? As we see Amanda on the back of Ella Lloyd down to turn 4. Yellow's out first sector. So
Green
down
again.
turn 1. Goes green.
He's gone off.
It's Emily DeHouse. Spun at 1 and 2.
She's fine, though. I always feel like her car is kind of lacking sponsorship.
It's the Red Bull Ford entry car as well. So Ford, of course, coming in as a part of Red Bull in the next 2 years.
She needs like
That's
a
a
stripe.
silly manoeuvre from Emily DeHouse. Dive bombs the inside of Aurea Nobles and just sort of clips her and goes into a spin.
Don't you think she needs stripes down the sides?
Yes, racing stripes would make that car look a little bit more racing.
Yeah.
Back to the action then.
It's lap 6 of 11 currently. We are around about just over halfway through the race. And it's... we are tired.
This series, they're starting to close back up now in the second phase of the race. But it really needs some sort of push-to-pass system.
It does.
Cars can't follow each other as correctly with its Formula 4 machinery.
They need like at least Formula 3 cars, I would
Yeah,
say.
something a bit faster. We said the same about W Series.
Yeah. I mean, they just aren't giving them fast enough cars.
And some of these drivers have been racing GT cars, like Dorian Pan.
Yeah, so they're going to be frustrated.
Yeah. Doesn't... I don't know, it's... Need them to be a bit different. Oh, it's involving Ella Lloyd and Dorian Pan have been noted for a false start. That's big for Dorian,
Oh.
as we hear from Nuria Marty.
On here. Be clever, be clever.
Because
How did they do a false start?
Well, Ella Lloyd and Dorian Pan lined up on the same row of the grid. So in terms of one, Dorian was ahead, and then directly behind her was Ella Lloyd. I wonder if Dorian jumped and Ella went with her.
Yeah, Ella, since she's done this one before, she thought, oh, let's
so
when we go.
she's let the clutch go.
That's a shame.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it.
Race control. The house failing to follow the race directions instructions, escape road instructions.
That's going behind the bollard.
Yeah, noted.
It's alright, the FIA just give us community service. Anyone swears on the radio, that's probably what we get now.
What would the community service even do?
Fork knows.
What are they going to do? Serve another team for about a week?
Max has to go drive a Haas.
Well,
That's
that seems to
community
be
service.
good. Yeah. Well, that seems to be good nowadays.
Alright, an Alpine.
Okay, that's torture. Or Sauber.
Sauber, actually. No points for Sauber. Yeah. Lap 8 of 11. Dorian, Abby Pudding doing a 2:04.557.
He'd run back saying, guys, I know what not to do.
Here's a great example of what not to do. Everything here. Oh, Abby Pudding almost touching the wall with the rear right tyre coming out the first corner. Maya Vuk is taking so much exit curve as well.
She is.
It's a street circuit.
For the last 2 races, remember, she was in 3rd and 2nd.
I won't remember because the last 2 races,
I know, you were up in your room.
yes, I was asleep.
I told you.
Thanks to the miracle of NASCAR having a race until God knows what time AM. Guess what tonight is as well at 12 AM?
Yes.
Till 4:30. So I'm going to bed early.
So I would suggest it.
I only get 3 hours after the end of NASCAR, don't I? Possibly only 2.
Control?
Ella Lloyd
Yeah.
and Dorian Pan under investigation for a fault start. That's their race done then.
Yep.
And Dorian's championship hopes as well, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Han might get like a penalty. I'm not sure they'll do it to Lloyd, given she was just following.
75 points on offer, 100 at the moment. 25, 50, 100. No, 200 points on offer.
Because
Yeah.
it's 2 races.
Oh, there's 3 actually. It's race 5, 7, so 25, 50. And followed by 50 and 50, about 150 points on offer. Amanda Alcabasse giving the motivation on the radio. Right behind Ella Lloyd. 3 to go, lap 9 out of 11. And Abby Bulling doing a 2:04.477. Over the line. Is Ella Lloyd going to stop anything there from Amanda Alcabasse?
Do you know she just keeps getting faster and faster?
Abby. Yeah.
Yeah.
5-second time penalty for Dorian Pan for a false start. That'll drop her down into 5th.
And now what about Lloyd?
Yeah. See if Dorian can pull out a second in the next lap.
Oh, same for Lloyd.
And that spoils this party we're watching now as Ella Lloyd goes side by side with Amanda Alcabasse, who's going around the outside line in towards turn 7. Lloyd goes deep. She won't be told of that penalty yet. So that's a disappointment actually, but that's good. That's okay. So maybe I'll put it down. 5 seconds. Outside the top 10, outside the points.
Unfortunately.
That's a shame for Ella Lloyd. On her debut. Wild card, of course. Over past Raffles and onto the Anderson Bridge. Yeah, I'm doing too badly.
It's such a shame.
Yeah, it's one of those races where you just don't know what's going to happen in terms of penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they could just decide to give any.
Into the braking zone.
I'm surprised they didn't do with higher penalties.
On board with Nuria Martin, P8. Now she is battling technically for P6 because with that penalty for Lloyd she's running P7. So bigger points for Nuria Martin. Lap 10 of 11, 2 to go. Abby Pulling leading by 2.27 seconds. Dorian Pan in 3rd. Maya Vuk in 2nd, but Dorian with a time penalty. 4.4 seconds, Megic. If she gets 5 seconds to the box, she'll keep 3rd. Here's the start. What's 3rd place? Well, I can't see it for that angle if that was a false start or not. Can you?
No.
Here we go, here we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. That wasn't a false start. How was that a false start? She started.
If anything, she started after people.
That's not a false start. There's nothing. She's done nothing wrong
I
there.
don't understand. Why are they under investigation? For nothing.
Why are we now watching Envita houses spin again?
The house would be investigated after the race failing to follow the race director's instructions.
I don't think Dorian jumped the start there.
No. It didn't look like it unless it's some like minuscule moment that we just can't see.
But the lights went out. She wasn't rolling.
Maybe we should let go or something.
Would help as well if they didn't put the stupid information banner up where the start lights were to look.
Yeah.
She's got 4.5 seconds anyway to block. So Dorian only needs another half a tenth of a second and she's got it. She can do that. She's attacking Maya Vuk. But Block's going to know that and push harder.
Yeah, because she really wants to like affirm her her place
Podium,
on the podium.
It's going to be give and take for the next couple, isn't it? into the braking zone. Turn 16 and 17. Then the last two, 18 and 19. Final lap of the race. 2:04.469 now for Abby Pulling. Dorian Pan has 4.7 seconds to Leah Block. That could be quite interesting. Ella Lloyd with that time penalty. That's 5 seconds she's got. That's a second, 2 seconds, 4, 5. She dropped about 11th. Maybe 10th. She might still get a point. That's going to be quite crucial. Didn't see her jumping the start either.
No.
And I'm sure they'll appeal this though. If there's no physical evidence of them jumping the start, they'll appeal it.
Hopefully.
Everyone jumping around everywhere. Everyone thinking the same thing as me. Don't crash.
That's what I'm hoping to.
Just stay calm. What?
Just couldn't help but think of the seventh Doctor when you said that.
What's the gap? 4.7 between Dorian Pan and Leah Block. So she's not quite going to have enough. 4.8.
We're in sector 3 now.
4.6. So it's ebbing and flowing. There's Abby Pulling. Another race win from pole position. She did the double. She's on a course to win again. There is no stopping her this year.
There really isn't.
Abby Pulling then into turn 16 and 17. Maya Vogt with 2 seconds back. There is no stopping this amazing young talent of Abby Pulling, rewriting history for women in motorsports in 2024. She exits the last corner. Victory in Singapore, race 1 for Abby Pulling. Maya Vogt is second. Dorian Pan gets the fast lap of the line, but was it enough for crossing? Yes, it was! 0.2 of a second across the line. Dorian Pan stays in third position. Block 0.2 back. Chambers, Amanda Alcabase, Leah Marty, Schreiner, Ella Lloyd drops to 9th. She gets points. Tina Houseman 11th. Jamie Chadwick, the only ever W Series champion. It was quite embarrassing. Who was working with Sky Sports this weekend, watches her protégé come across. Very much Alice Powell as well, her protégé. Alice works with Abby so much as her driver coach and manager.
You know, when she started out in W Series, I thought, it's like, I feel like she's going to do well.
Yeah, how right you were. Right, I'll let you escape now until 10:15 when you call the end of when you call Q2 of MotoGP.
For how long?
15 minutes.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Let's hand over to the world feed then of Alex Bundle and Laura Winter.
Lap Pulling is pulling away.
Oh, I love it. I wondered when that pun was going to come out.
Good job, strong pace. Come on, guys. That was amazing. Come on.
Good job, says the engineer. I say great job. What a performance from Abby Pulling so far. And look, it is clear she absolutely loves this track. She knows how to use every inch of it, and she pulls away. Dorian Pan will start alongside her for race 2 tomorrow. Maya Vogt will start in P3, and once again, we will see a battle between these three. They've got to come up with something else, Alex, if they want to get the better of Abby Pulling and stop her securing a perfect weekend.
Check red flag, Dory, check red flag. Fastest lap of the race, and P3. Good job.
Okay, good job.
That is some performance from Dorian Pan, to not just have the composure to save the podium after the false start infringement and the 5-second penalty, but also to pull out a fastest lap. Dorian Pan, while she is making these little mistakes that are costing her some points, some stress in this race particularly, she is able to bounce back. What can she do tomorrow? That is the question. She'll be starting front row.
She's found 0.4 of a second now. over-pulling on the final lap of the race to keep herself on the podium, she'll be looking at that lap intently through the rest of the weekend and thinking, how did I find that time? I've got to find that time every single lap of the race tomorrow to mount the challenge for the series points in reality at the end of the season. Yeah, they've got to try to make that move off the start, because as soon as Abby Pulling is out front, she's just so strong and doesn't make mistakes.
No, Abby Pulling then picking up 25 points. 1 point, of course, going to Dorian Pan for that fastest lap, +2 for the pole position yesterday. That's 27 points she has secured in her massive haul so far this season. Not finishing off the podium, 6 wins now to her name. And she pulls up into Parc Fermé next to that familiar spot, number 1.
Yeah, very good stuff from Pulling. A nice haul of points as well for Maya Vug, who I believe with that may well move herself up into, or close to, I have to see when the points arrive on our screen, do some quick maths, but may well move herself up the championship order into the top 3 positions. But Abby Pulling putting in an incredibly strong performance, as we've said, continues her run of podium finishes throughout this year. The Rodin team and Alpine both down there to congratulate Pulling in what is a team effort between the entrant brand sponsor and the preparation team, the academy, and also the driver, their friends and family. It's such a team effort to get these drivers onto the grid. They celebrate together. Dorian Pan also looking happy with her performance there. She'll have been delighted, and as will Mercedes, with what she found at the end of that race. Ben Huntingford there, the feeder series team manager at Rodin, gives a hug to Abby Pulling, and the photos are ongoing.
I wonder how many photos she's got like that now, picking up so many wins so far this season, 6 in total to her name. And yeah, as you just mentioned there, the personnel surrounding these drivers as they come up the track, alongside Susie Wolf, of course, managing director of F1 Academy. And in its 2nd season, it is having a truly brilliant impact on the world of motorsport, on the world of women in motorsport, both on and off the track as well. And the preparation and the support that these drivers have access to and are able to gather, to garner, to use to their advantage is huge. Both teams, like you mentioned, ART, MP, Rodin, Campus, Prima, and also the support of all 10 F1 teams as well. Abby Pulling posing for more photographs here, and you can see the exertion written all over her face. It's very easy to forget just how humid, how hot it is out there, how physically demanding this is. As we look now to some interviews, we have James Hinchcliffe. He's about to speak to Dorian Pan.
Dorian Pan managed to hang on to a podium position here today in race 1, but it wasn't that easy after the penalty came through. So can you first just walk us through what happened with the penalty on the start?
Apparently I had a jump start, so 5-second penalty. I think it was very small because I didn't see it myself. So yeah, you try to fight for the millisecond every time to have the opportunity at the start. But I had an opportunity to start, but it was not enough. But then the pace was good. I was happy about the pace at the end, especially when the deck was coming and the rear was starting to slide. We were catching a little bit lap by lap, and so it's good for tomorrow. We start in the front row, so maybe we can have an opportunity for tomorrow.
Yeah, the penalties seemed to come through quite late in the race, so it didn't give you a lot of time to build up that 5-second gap. But those last few laps, incredibly quick, including the fastest lap on the final one there. So just talk us through those last few and the pressure of trying to build up that gap.
Yeah, I wanted this 3rd place for the championship, also for myself, and I know the pace was good for the degradation, so I knew I could create the 5-second gap, and we did it, so I'm really happy. And it was a lot of concentration, but I did it, and I'm happy. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that, and best of luck tomorrow starting from the front row. Maya P2 today in race 1, 5th podium of the season, but it looked like it was a bit of a quiet race for you. Is that how you saw it?
Yeah, it was quite quiet. I tried to stay close to Abby in the beginning, and following is quite tough. So I damaged my front tires quite a lot, which then cost me in the end. That's why Abby managed to pull away. But overall, the pace was there. We need to fine-tune a bit for tomorrow. But yeah, it was a lonely race. Just the walls are a bit closer than the drivers. But no, it was fun. It's always fun to drive around Singapore.
So what did you learn today that you can take into tomorrow's race too?
Definitely tire management will be key tomorrow. Today I pushed too much in the first laps, and yeah, then I struggled in the end. So definitely that will be something to keep an eye on. And then we try to fix that. And the start was decent, but not good enough to make a move. So we'll try to focus on that for tomorrow.
Well, congrats on the podium and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Abby Pulling, another lights to flag victory here, race 1 in Singapore. Brilliant result for you. Just walk us through your race and how it looked from up front.
To be honest, I put all my focus on the race start. I knew that I just need to get off the line, and yeah, it was a great launch, and yeah, I just controlled the lead from there. I saw that Maya was close to begin with, but I knew if I just kept consistent, I could, you know, keep bridging the gap. But even if it's a 10th lap, it's a 10th lap, and honestly, I can't thank the team enough. They're doing an amazing job, and I'm just doing everything with what they're giving me.
Quite a big change in conditions from yesterday with all that rain last night. Did you notice the track had changed quite a bit from behind the wheel?
Yeah, it was a little bit. I mean, going into qualifying, FP1 had happened, so there was a lot of rubber down. I actually hit a curb really hard on my first push lap because I didn't realise how much grip there was. So, yeah, today it was a bit more, got to be a bit more reserved and manage the tyres a bit more. Obviously, we haven't done any long runs, so it was interesting to see how the tyre evolves, but we managed to keep within a 10th every lap, to be honest. So, yeah, really happy with the pace.
So, obviously extending your championship lead with that win, kind of one hand on the trophy now. Has that changed your thinking at all going into the next race and the rest of the season, or is it still just one race at a time?
Honestly, I've kept the same mindset all year, and it just seems to be working. I'm not putting any pressure on myself. I'm keeping a cool head. Do a lot of work on my mental side with gazing performance systems, and it's really, really helped me this year. And just go out there and do the best I can every time, and if that's P1, that's P1. If it's not, it's not, and then we evaluate that on why it isn't. But yeah, this weekend it's been pretty phenomenal so far. If there was anywhere that I wanted to have a good result, it was here. It's an amazing track, and I absolutely love racing around these streets.
Well, another chance to do it tomorrow from pole. Congratulations, Abby Pulling, 6th win of the season.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to Abby Pulling. What a cool head on her shoulders in what is a stunning season so far. Thank you to James Hinchcliffe as well for those lovely interviews. Well, there she goes, crossing the line for her 6th win. Maya Vug, P2, Dorian Pan, P3, and those driver points. Abby Pulling from Pan, from Vug.
Yeah, Maya Vug, with that result, does move herself up, as I suspected, into 3rd position in the championship. 102 points for her. Dorian Pat in 2nd, still 135 points, and 217 points now for Pulling. Kramer moved past Rodin, despite taking the win with Abby Pulling in the team's points standings. So Kramer now leading with those points for their 3 drivers. But today, all about Abby Pulling and her performance out on the racetrack, continuing to extend her lead in that championship. And will she have the gap that she needs by the end of the weekend? I don't think she's quite going to be able to do it, but putting herself in a fabulous position in the point standings moving into the final couple of races.
You feel for Abby Pulling, not to pile the pressure on her. It's a matter of when, not if she wins this title. Let's listen in, see what we can hear from the cool-down room.
I tried to follow the first lap, but
I saw. I was like,
I was not far, but the aero was not good. I can tell you.
What was the aborted start for?
I have no clue. They didn't tell me on the radio. So.
Oh.
But Leah was really close to you the first laps, and then she laps. I was surprised we don't have any safety cars, but the slipstream effect is nothing.
No.
Like this
Is it not?
No, not at all. Like, I don't know.
I love hearing racing drivers talking about racing and watching the racing as we watch them.
Absolutely. No drag reduction system available in F1 Academy, so the slipstream becomes all the more important to these drivers to try to make the move. And at this kind of, in this kind of pack, drivers there, really, you get the sense that the nature of their racing falls on how strong that slipstream is. Speaking there and the difficulty of making a move, but it wasn't too much of a difficult race, was it, for these three who've given a brilliant performance this weekend. Dorian Pan will be first out on the podium despite that penalty. A brilliant final lap from her.
Dorian Pan then third spot on the podium. She saved that with some unbelievable flying laps to finish her race. Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff looks on. Maya Vug there taking second spot on the podium, and as we mentioned, moving up as well to third in the overall standings. And Abby Pulling, for the 6th time this season, she will take a step onto that top step. It is P1 for Abby Pulling. Garcia then, F1 Academy ambassador, and of course the inaugural F1 Academy winner, presenting the trophy to Abby Pulling, who roars with delight, lifting it above her head. Her 6th win this season, yet another podium. Maya Vug, 2nd place, great race from her. Can she turn 2nd into something more tomorrow? A hug for Dorian Pan from Marta Garcia as well. 3rd for Pan. She'll have to do something a little bit different, and importantly, watch her start tomorrow on the front row alongside Abby Pulling.
Front row of the grid tomorrow for Dorian Pan, but today it is the bubbly liquid, but
not champagne.
Not champagne for these drivers,
course, yeah.
as is the age of the competitors. But great to see them enjoying it anyway. Up on the podium, fantastic job done by all three of them. They'll do it all again in exactly the same way tomorrow, but just with Vug and Pan reversed on the grid. It'll be interesting to see what Pan can do. About Abby Pulling, told us at the end of the race, she's so focused on that race start. Is that the only potential moment Pan will have tomorrow to try to snatch the lead from Abby Pulling, or will she have the pace over the full race distance? They'll be enjoying this one this evening and then immediately go into thinking about doing it all again over 12 laps tomorrow morning.
Considering Dorian Pan, the finish she had, the way she pulled out her fastest lap under pressure there at the end, you never know what she can do if she is in Abby Pulling's slipstream. But you're right, the start has got to be the prime opportunity to wrestle a victory from Pulling's dominant performance so far. Here are the race results then from this round 5 in Singapore. 1st place for Abby Pulling, 2nd place for Maya Vug, the Ferrari Driver Academy, and Dorian Pan of Mercedes, operated by Prix, in P3. Leah Block just ultimately 0.2 seconds or so off the podium. Chloe Chambers, a good result for P5. Hamza Alkabezi in P6. Nerea Marti, Carrie Schreiner, Ella Lloyd with that penalty drops her down. Lola Lovenfoss, Amna Alkabezi, Jess Edgar, Aurelia Nobles and Emily DeHost, they enjoyed a good battle, didn't they? And Bianca Bustamante with that 10-second stop-and-go penalty drops down to 16th. And there we have it. That was race 1 from round 5 of F1 Academy at the Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore. My thanks to Alex Brundle, to James Hinchcliffe on interviews. What a win. Her 6th this season for Abby Pulling. Can she do it again tomorrow? You have to come back and find out. We will see you then.